Bali. Even the name feels like a breath of fresh air. For Indians planning their first international trip, this Indonesian island is one of the best choices you can make. If you are a couple looking for a mix of adventure, culture, and pure relaxation, Bali will give you all three without burning a hole in your pocket. We did a 5-day trip from Delhi covering both Ubud and Kuta. From flights and visas to scooter rides and beach clubs, we have covered it all so that you can walk into Bali feeling like you have been there before. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are sharing our complete experience so you can plan your trip without any confusion. The journey to Bali from India is surprisingly straightforward. Most flights from India land at Bali International Airport at Denpasar. Flight duration is around 8 to 10 hours depending on layovers, and most flights connect through cities like Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. We flew from Delhi to Kuta and paid around 60,000 for a round trip for two people. That works out to roughly around 30,000 per person for a return flight ticket, which is very reasonable deal for an international trip. Now, let's talk about the visa process. The visa process for Bali is one of the easiest you will encounter as an Indian traveler. You do not need to visit any embassy or apply weeks in advance. India is eligible for a visa on arrival at Bali, which means you can simply get your visa stamp when you land. The visa fee is approximately around 2700 to 2900 Indian rupees. You can pay by card or cash during immigration. Here is what you need to carry for visa. For visa, your passport must be valid at least 6 months from the date of entry into Bali, and it should have at least two blank pages for the visa stamp. Carry a printed copy of your return flight ticket as immigration officers may ask for it. Your hotel booking confirmation is also important. From September 2025 onwards, travelers are also required to fill out a digital arrival card online within 72 hours before landing and show the QR code at immigration. Now, let's talk about currency. Bali uses Indonesian rupiah, which is IDR. As a rough guide, currently 1 Indian rupee is approximately 189 Indonesian rupiah. So, if something costs around 1 lakh IDR, that is roughly around 500 to 550 Indian rupees. It sounds like a lot of zeros, but you will get used to it quickly. Our approach worked out really well. We exchanged Indian rupees to US dollars in Delhi before flying out, since dollar exchange rates in India are generally better than what you get abroad. We then exchanged those dollars to Indonesian rupiah in Bali itself. One very important tip: do not exchange currency at the airport in Bali, the exchange rates are significantly worse. Instead, carry enough local currency to cover your taxi from airport to hotel and then exchange the rest of your money at the local money changers in Bali market. These local exchange counters offer much better rates. One thing we wish we would have done earlier is use Book My Forex for our currency exchange. The link is in the description below. They deliver foreign currency notes straight to your door with zero hidden charges, and their rates are genuinely much better than what you get at the bank or any airport. It saves your time, saves your money, and you land in Bali is already sorted. Now, next is SIM card. Having internet access in Bali is very important, whether for navigating with Google Maps or calling a Grab taxi. The good news is that local SIM in Bali is very affordable and widely available. However, we skip the SIM card counters at airport, they charge a premium. The same SIM card costs nearly half at the price in convenience stores, supermarkets, or telecom shops in the city. Brands like Telkomsel are most popular and is generally recommended for the best coverage across the island. Now, next important thing is transport. When we landed at Denpasar airport, we used Grab, just like Ola or Uber, to get to our hotel in Ubud. It is convenient, affordable. Just open the app, book your ride, and a driver will come to the designated pickup point. Make sure you have SIM card active or connect to airport Wi-Fi before stepping out. Our first destination was Ubud, and we paid around 1200 Indian rupees from airport to Ubud, which was around 35 kilometers. Also, renting a scooter in Bali is one of the best way to explore. For just around 500 rupees per day, you'll get a freedom to stop wherever you want It takes you through rice fields and explores small villages that no tour bus will ever take you to. We rented scooters both in Ubud and in Kuta, and the rental prices were similar in both places. Fuel is also very affordable. We spent around 500 Indian rupees total on petrol for the scooter throughout our time in Ubud. Most rental shops require just a copy of your passport. Now, if you are moving between cities for longer distance, you can use taxis and Grab. For example, from Ubud to Kuta, it makes more sense to book a taxi or Grab car rather than riding a scooter on the highway. The distance from Ubud to Kuta is roughly around 35 to 40 km, and a cab ride is comfortable and is reasonably priced. We booked a cab for this transfer and it took over an hour. Grab is the app we recommend, though Gojek is also a popular option. Next is food. If you are worried about food as an Indian traveler, you can relax completely. Local Balinese food can be a little different, but Indian restaurants are genuinely easy to find, especially in tourist heavy areas like Ubud and Kuta. A quick Google Map search for Indian restaurants near me in any part of Bali will throw up several options. We found everything from North Indian curries and rotis to South Indian dosas and idlis, so no need to worry about food in Bali. Now comes the fun part. Here is a day by day breakdown of how we spent our 5 days in Bali, 3 days in Ubud, and 2 days in Kuta. This itinerary is a good balance of culture, nature, and can be customized to match your own pace and interest. So, start your first day in Ubud with an early departure because today you are heading to East Bali. Teeth Ganga is the first stop, and it is a place unlike anything you might expect. The gardens are well maintained, and you can walk across the stepping stones in the ponds, feed the colorful fishes, and take some truly beautiful photographs. Entry for foreigners is approximately 90,000 IDR per person, which is around 500 Indian rupees. From Tirthganga, drive another 20 minutes east to reach Lempuyang Temple, one of the oldest and beautiful Hindu temples in all of Bali. It is famous worldwide for its iconic gates of heaven. The photo you'll get here will honestly be one of the best of your entire trip. Just go little early around 6 to 7 am because the queue for that iconic shot can easily stretch to an hour or more later in the day. And temple is open from 6 am to 7 p.m. In the evening, head to the Sacred Monkey Forest right in the heart of Ubud. It is home to hundreds of monkeys who roam completely free. Walking among them is a lot of fun. Just keep your bags and sunglasses closed because they will grab anything. Entry is around 1 lakh IDR per person. After that, take a slow walk through the Ubud market, pick up some souvenirs, and sit down for dinner. And believe me, guys, the Ubud evening is something really special. The streets are calm, the lights are warm, and whole town just feels like peaceful. In day 2, make your way to Saraswati Temple, also known as Water Palace, located right in the center of Ubud town. This temple is dedicated to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge, art, and wisdom. Same day, your next destination is Ulundanu Biratan Temple. You can rent a scooter and ride about 40 kilometers, and honestly, this journey through the Balinese highlands is the most visually stunning part of the entire trip. The road passes through gorgeous rice terrace and mountain scenery that feels like a painting. It is one of the most photographic places in all of Bali. In the evening, return to Ubud's night market for some shopping and a quiet dinner. Now, day 3. On your last morning in Ubud, check out early and head to two places that perfectly capture Bali's adventure and natural spirit. Kretia Ubud is a luxurious pool and day club set within a lush jungle, offering some of the most beautiful views in Bali. The experience comes with entry fees and is a popular spot, so going early helps you to avoid long queues. Right nearby is a Alas Haram Bali. There is a swing park with beautiful rice field views all around. The swings are at a different height and the whole place is super photogenic. Between Kretia and Alas Haram, you are going to leave Ubud with some of the best photos of your entire trip. After your morning at the swing parks, load up your bags, call a grab, and head south to Kuta. Kuta is a completely different world from Ubud. Where Ubud is peaceful and green, Kuta is vibrant, sandy, and buzzing with energy. Next morning, wake up early and head up to the Suluban beach. It is about 25 km from Kuta, around an hour's drive. Now, this is not a regular beach where you just park and walk in. You have to go down a long staircase through some rocky caves, and then suddenly the beach appears right in front of you. The water is clear blue, the waves are huge, and the view all around is just beautiful. Even if you do not surf, just sitting up at one of the small cafes and watching the waves is really enjoyable. Try to go in the early morning or late afternoon for the best experience. Right next to Suluban is Uluwatu Temple, a very old Hindu temple sitting right on edge of a cliff above the sea. The view from up there is honestly hard to describe, just ocean as far as you can see and waves hitting the rocks below. One thing to be careful about, the monkeys here are very active and they will take your glasses, phones, or anything they can grab. If you can, stay for Kechak Dance Fire Show at sunset. It is really a unique cultural show and a great experience. After some rest, the evening is all about Finn's Beach Club. It is one of the most popular beach clubs in Bali. Big pools, sea view, good food, and great music. The good part for us Indians is that they also have Indian food options on the menu. Reaching there around 5 or 6 in the evening to catch sunset, it is a fun and relaxed way to end your day in Kuta. Start your last day with a visit to GWK Cultural Park. It is home to the tallest statue in Indonesia, Lord Vishnu sitting on Garuda. As Indians, walking through a place that has same stories and gods we grew up with feels really special. There are also cultural dance shows, food stalls, and art to explore. Plan around 2 to 3 hours here, it is worth it. And before you leave Bali, please do yourself a favor and get a Balinese massage. After 5 days of walking and exploring, your body will really thank you for it. 1 hour session at a local spa costs you around 1000 to 1500 Indian rupees, and if you want a better experience, it goes up to 5000 as well. It is honestly one of the best ways to end your Bali trip. You will feel completely relaxed by the time you board your flight by home. If you have an extra day, do try to visit Nusa Penida Island. You can get there by a 45-minute boat ride from Sanur Beach. The island is known for some really stunning views, big cliffs, clear blue water, beautiful beaches like Kellington and Broken Beach. A day trip for two people, including the boat and local driver, will cost you around 8,000 to 10,000 Indian rupees. Now, we personally did not go because it was very hot during our trip and Nusa Penida is more open to sun than the rest of the Bali. But if weather is good and you have lot of energy, we would definitely say go for it. Now, let's discuss about budget. Honestly, Bali surprised us with how budget friendly it is for an international trip. Here is exactly what we spent as a couple for 5 days. Our return flights from Delhi cost us around 60,000 for two, and the visa for both of us comes around 5600 Indian rupees. For hotel, we spent around 17,000 for all 5 nights across Ubud and Kuta. Food for entire trip came to around 10,000 to 15,000. Then scooter rent around both cities was around 1500 and petrol was another 500 rupees. Our day trip to Tirthganga and Lemphayang temple by cab, including entry fees, came to around 6000 rupees. We also got a Bali massage which cost around 1500 per person. And if you plan to visit Nusa Penida, keep 10,000 aside for it. We also kept 10,000 for miscellaneous expenses like small shoppings and tips. And that's Bali for you. Bali is one of those places that just stays with you. The temples feels familiar, the food is not too different, the people are kind and everywhere you look is something beautiful. For Indian couples on their first international trip, it is really one of the best choices you can make. We have covered everything we personally did and loved. Every time you visit the island, you will find something new. We have added the map link in the description below with all the locations we've mentioned hotels, temples, beaches, restaurants so that you can plan your route easily. Just go, enjoy every moment, drink lots of water, put on your sunscreen, and definitely rent the scooter. You will not regret it. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give like to this video, share it with someone who is planning a Bali trip, and do not forget to subscribe so you never miss out our next travel video.